Welcome to Modus Cafe. Join us for fun, lighthearted, and educational conversations around training, athletic longevity, and the human side of climbing. With your hosts, Mercedes Pollmeyer and Katja Dev.
You ready, Freddy Spaghetti?
I love spaghetti.
Great. Okay, welcome back, everybody, to Modus Cafe. And Happy New Year, a new year
Yes.
has begun. 2024.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love New Year. I love new beginnings. That's why I love the new year. I'm a big fan of, using that beginning energy, really the energy of change to create change in my life and create like this life that I want. What about you, Mercedes? Do you have any goals for this year? Any big goals?
I have a lot of goals, but what I'm most excited about is that we actually have our Stronger Together membership open right now. And I think really like my goal is to help as many members as possible this year reach their goals. That's what I'm excited about. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And so as Mercedes said, our membership program is open right now for enrollment. So we actually thought we would start this year off with talking about what Stronger Together really is. And so I will be asking Mercedes a few questions. We're going to do this interview style. And the very first one to get started is, Mercedes, what is Stronger Together?
Okay. So Stronger Together is a supportive online community and a training membership. Okay. So it's really both of these things. You get the community and this training together. And this community is filled with climbers who are passionate about learning and growing, both as climbers and growing as humans. This is a group of people who really care about finding joy in their climbing, as well as sending harder. That is obviously a big part of it, is getting better. But it's also just cultivating a long-term joyful relationship with climbing. This is also a place where people can openly share about their struggles as well as celebrate their wins. This is, we post questions once every couple weeks asking about people's wins, and people love celebrating those. But we also talk about the struggles. When it comes to climbing development, you really have to talk about both so that you can grow in both areas. Yeah, and I would say that, our values really go beyond climbing performance. What about you, Katja? What do you think?
I think personal development is also a really big part of our community. And we've really found, and this is what members have said and our athletes, that through really getting to know themselves, they really end up also becoming better climbers. We talk a lot about fears, different types of fears, and we really help people kind of just grow into the people they want to be. And that's one of the things I'm very excited about for this community, is that it really does go beyond climbing performance, but it's still this passion and joy that does bring us together. So we do all speak the language, and we do help our athletes improve. And most athletes that I've talked to recently are really psyched about it, and they see all these improvements, which is really wonderful. Obviously, as a coach, it's very, very rewarding to see athletes improve their climbing and also just be happier.
Yeah.
With that
I love,
too.
The beta spray section of our membership. That's the place where people can post their climbing videos and basically ask for advice on technique. But I find that that's one of my favorite places to see the community really evolve. Like, people learn so much just from interacting and getting advice from people, but also like maybe using the advice and also giving advice. Like, you kind of learn both of those skills as you're developing as a climber, and getting advice and being able to get critique and also be able to deliver really good critique, I think is really important as well when we're looking at that technique aspect.
Yeah, it's actually really fun. I love that you said that, because it really is a place where you are being coached and you're coaching at the same time, because it's really a place where people share their experiences and really help each other. And of course, we are there for guidance and mentorship, and we bring a lot, but really our athletes bring a lot to this membership, which is really
Yeah.
amazing because Mercedes and I, we have a lot of experience, but our experience is still limited because other people have other experiences. So, members in our membership really gain so much by having more and more members.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I actually love about it, like speaking about having more members, is that we're now spread over all 5 continents in this world, which is so exciting. Like, we are really growing worldwide, and that is really, really fantastic. Okay, Mercedes, let's talk about why we created Stronger Together.
Initially, I think it was because we really wanted a place to talk about the things that were important to us, such as like self-development, athletic longevity. That's a big one. And I really think that athletic longevity, kind of the future of like Stronger Together and Modus Athletica, like that's going to be a big one. But as well as just happiness in the sport. And, we just wanted a place to be able to talk about that, and feel comfortable and really, I mean, it is kind of like spreading that kindness, and feeling that kindness inside of a community. Another big one was really delivering high quality support, so that's either through coaching or programming. I just wanted to take that up another level. And there's something about the group that I love so much more. Like, I love my one-on-one clients. I really get to know people really, really well. But in the group, somehow you really start to foster this kindness. And no matter how someone is feeling, they can always come to us and talk to the group, and, share their struggles and their wins. And somehow that feels really lovely, just to be part of this almost living organism. So that's why initially why we created it.
Yeah. And we really wanted to create a place too that fosters belonging and connection, and a place that's less goal-oriented and competitive, because Stronger Together really is not about grades or how strong people are. It's really just about coming together and just like getting better at the sport that we all love. So naturally, we also have a big range in terms of age and ability level and skill level. But that's also what's the beauty, is because that way we can all support each other, And I just had a coaching call last night, and I told the members on the call that I might enjoy these calls even more than they do. They bring so much to these calls that I learn from them all the time. And it's really, really amazing. So, yeah. So actually talking about our members, that's perfect. Let's talk about who Stronger Together is for.
Yeah, this one, it caters to a lot of different experience level of climbers, but really I think it's a climber who is interested in getting better at climbing, who's interested in seeing how far they can push their performance, but it's also a climber who is interested in being part of a community, who maybe likes to be challenged in new ways. We do ask a lot of interesting questions in the community, because we do believe that like happiness and joy is part of your journey, and the more that you can connect with yourself, the better. And so if climbers who kind of are willing to answer those questions, those are the kind of people we want. But the other side of it is that you don't have to be part of the community. If you want, you can actually join the membership just to do the training component. Like, that is totally fine. And we actually have folks who do that. And so if you are considering just being here for the training, I would say that, that you should be maybe climbing for at least a year and understand like basic terminology of climbing. And if you're interested in really taking your climbing to the next level, because the training plans do we do ask that you are consistent, whether even if that's just like once a week, it's still being consistent. Um, I would say most of our climbers are intermediate climbers. We do have a handful of climbers who are very, very strong, who can climb double-digit boulders. So we do have a range of people, but really, I think it comes down to what kind of personality you have, and if you want to have some fun, be part of this awesome group, and get some training advice on the way, that's who it's for.
Yeah, awesome. I would add to that I think to this community can really benefit people who are looking for ways to stay healthy and long term. Because really, that's how we set out our community. Because we offer nutrition support, for example, that's how we set out our training plans. It's not just about reaching that next grade in climbing and improving the climbing. Yes, it is, but our training plans really are designed for helping people be or become even healthier versions of themselves, because we really believe in athletic longevity. And
Yeah.
so naturally too, we maybe I should say who this program is not for is someone who just wants to go to the gym every single day, put their head down and like overtrain essentially. We're all about balance. We talk a lot about recovery. That's really important to us. We talk a lot about mindset. So it's really that component, like having athletic longevity, both physical and mental athletic longevity. That's what we're here for. So it's really, it goes beyond climbing.
Yeah.
That's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Which is
That was
awesome.
good. Nice. Yeah.
So what kind of training plans do we offer, Mercedes? Because it is a training membership. There's physical training as much as we emphasize the community aspect. Our members do get training plans delivered actually through an app that they can take to the gym with them. And we actually offer lots of different types of training plans, because obviously people are so different and in their abilities and what they need, and also in the time commitment. So do you briefly want to speak about the types of training plans that we offer?
Yeah. So we do have a range of training programs that can either be experience level or commitment level. So if you really only just want some technique drills and you can really only commit to one structured day, we have a program for that. If you just want a couple days of training and you're very new to training, we have a foundation program that you can do. If you've done a little bit of training, we have a training roadmap. But really it's like 6 to 8 week programs that are focused on maybe strength. And those programs are generally, anywhere between 2 and 4 days of training. And then we also offer like advanced training programs for folks who are training 4 to 6 days a week. And it includes flexibility training, strength training, climbing drills. So you can really choose how hard you want to go, but it's also scaled to your ability level, and that's what we're here for, to kind of help you decide what training program you're on. And every 6 to 8 weeks, or even every 3 months, if you want to change your training program, you can. You don't have to stick to that this is a 4-week training program and I have to start and stop on a specific date. We do encourage you to stay on a program and be consistent, but you don't have to stop when the program stops. You can continue that program, do it again, and continue to get gains out of it. We also have a strength only program, which doesn't have any climbing. It teaches you how to lift. That has been a popular one recently. We also have some mobility sessions. These aren't necessarily scheduled out for you, but we have basically a workout library that you can work your way through. There's flexibility sessions, mobility sessions. Yes, they're a little different. We also have traveling workouts. So if a lot of our members have to travel for work. So we have those sessions built in and you can do those whenever you want. So there's a lot on the training side, and I would almost say it's like too much, but That's what we're here for. We're here to help you, and you can create your own journey. And as seasons change and as your body changes, you can always switch to a different program. And you know what? You don't even need to be on a program to be in this community. So there's people who just train and who might not be in the community. And then there's other folks who are just in the community and who use Trainerize and just do one-off workouts. They kind of like scroll through and they're like, oh, I like the look of this workout. And they do that. And they still get gains from that because they're still moving. They care about longevity. They're doing their 5-minute action. We've got, we're just finishing up a little challenge called a 5-minute action so that you can reach your goals. And so it doesn't have to be rigid. It can be fairly flexible.
Yeah, training plans, it's really just like having a buffet, a buffet of training plans that you can choose from. And I want to emphasize that not everybody knows what they want or need to train. And we are absolutely here for that. We help people choose the right program for them. And I would say one reason why we have so many programs is because Mercedes one loves the right programs and she's really good at it. And essentially what happens sometimes is that we have members who ask for something or they have a question and then we realize, oh yeah, maybe we'll write a program for this. For example, when people are injured, we have a whole program that is mostly focusing on upper body injuries. So the program itself will be mostly lower body. So again, I want to emphasize this because we try to help people be as healthy as possible even when they're injured. So let's say when people have an upper body injury, now they can't climb. We don't want people to stop doing anything altogether. Most people who we work with, and this is actually really amazing because we had a coaching call on this and people still talk about it, is we help people not only like get through their injuries, but come out stronger because we support people and because we have these training plans for that. And one of the things that I always like to tell people is that not only will you get stronger in other ways that you normally don't train when you're injured, but being on a different type of training plan can actually help you mentally get through that injury because injuries can be so hard for us. And then, of course, you have the community support because we do have quite a few people right now who are injured or have been injured. And they have said that even though they couldn't do the normal training plans, that actually being part of this community and being on some of our injury, programs has really helped them so much. And then they, continue climbing afterwards, whereas some other people might have taken a year or two off after an injury. So that's been actually one of the biggest values that I didn't even realize we would, be able to provide people with that has come out of this community. So that's been really, really amazing. And the other thing that I want to add, Mercedes, that you haven't said yet is that we do have training plans that build on each other. So you don't just come in and get a training plan for 6 to 8 weeks, but because we offer different training plans and they build on each other, we're going to help you progress your climbing, like to as far as you want to. And although the training plans are very amazing and really, really awesome, and we've just had people getting so strong, we also have people, actually, I just had this coaching call last night, so I want to share this. One of our members shared with me that she's definitely gotten stronger and better, but some of her biggest breakthroughs lately have been mental, working on her mental game. And she's like just cruising through these grades. She's 50 years old and she is just climbing wicked strong to where her partners are like, this is not a project for you. You need to start climbing harder things. And yeah, that's just so amazing, for me to hear, obviously. Okay, wonderful. Let's move on to the next question, Mercedes. How much climbing and training experience do people need before they join Stronger Together?
I would definitely say if you're like, as a climber, I would really like for you to, one, really enjoy climbing. You have to really enjoy climbing. And again, like understanding the basic terminology of climbing. I would say like I'd love it if you were climbing at least 6 months to a year before you start like training. Actually, our technique program isn't really training. It's really just focusing your technique once a week, so that could actually be for beginners. But again, like you do have to know how your body moves on the wall a little bit in order to really start on some of these technique drills. So yeah, 6 months to a year is a really, like, I would love it if some people had some decent experience in the first 6 months to a year. For training, lifting, we have a lot of beginners. And so you don't need to have really any training experience. It does help if you have a little bit of knowledge, but it's okay if you're brand new to this. We are here to help. Yeah, and part of the Beta Spray section of our community, you can post exercises, like you performing an exercise, and get feedback from other people, and also the coaches, and just making sure that you're doing it correctly. Yeah, we're not here to push PRs, like personal records for lifting, so I'm not as concerned about that. We use lifting as a way to support your longevity, your body, to build muscle, but climbing is really the main focus of most of the programs.
Yeah, one thing that just came to my mind is actually that if there are any people out there who have never trained, this could actually be a really great place for it, because it's such a supportive community for starting how to train. Because I think there's a lot of, especially women out there, who might be more hesitant to want to do weights for several reasons. And I have just, ever since I started working with you, I started really, lifting and really working on actual strength. And it's just really not only transformed my climbing, but really me as a person, like how I feel about myself. And I want to share this because before I started training in the weight room, I was a very technical climber, and people always commented on it. And that helped me a lot, like learning all the skills and drills. But the truth is, climbing is also a strength sport. And especially if there's people out there, like it was me, my lowest hanging fruit was actually building muscle and then not being afraid of using the muscle that I had. And that really transformed my climbing, because the truth is that there are going to be some skills, climbing skills out there, that we can only do once we have a certain level of strength too. So
yeah.
And strength training, one of the things you and I talk about a lot about, is it also really helps us age really gracefully and healthily. So that's another reason why we do actually we do focus on strength. People don't have to do it in order to join the community, but it's definitely a great place to learn how to strength train and to get started with that too. Wonderful. Let's see. I have 2 more things on my list, Mercedes. Let's talk about the coaching calls, because we do provide coaching calls. So what do they look like?
So currently we have 1 coaching call a week, and it's either with me or Coach Katya. And actually, we are bringing on a new coach.
We are. New things are coming. We're so excited.
Yeah. So it's very exciting. But you'll be able to meet with a coach at least once a week on a coaching call, if that's if you have time for that. These sessions, I think, are so valuable. I love connecting with our members that way. So I do 2 calls a month. I do basically like a check-in call, like, how are you doing? How's the program you're on doing? Do you have questions about your program? Do you even need a program? A lot of random topics come up in that coaching call. It is a good time to get to know people, and actually members get to know each other a little bit better too, on that coaching call. The second one that I do is it's called specialized topics. And normally I bring in a special guest. If I don't have a special guest, I'll research a topic and go a little deeper into that topic. Do you want to talk about your coaching calls?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Yeah.
So, as Mercedes said, we each do 2 coaching calls a month. So that means every week there's going to be 1 coaching call that you can attend. And so far, for the past year, I have usually done 1 nutrition call a month. We also offer nutrition support in our community. It's mostly educational, plus the coaching call. But can I spill the beans, the exciting news?
Yes.
We have a new coach coming in. She is actually a nutritionist. She is both a nutrition coach and a clinical nutritionist. So she brings a lot of deep knowledge. alongside the coaching experience that she has. Her name is Amanda, and she's going to be starting in January. So that means I will be doing one less call because I will not be doing the nutrition calls anymore, but she's going to step in. She's going to provide so much value, so much more value than I could have provided, just because her nutrition knowledge goes really, really deep and broad in terms of specifics too. And we do have a lot of members who have different needs and have different questions. And that's really why we're bringing her on, because we want to provide as you said, the best support and the best value that we can. But that means that, opens me up for another call. This is really also another reason why we did that, because one of the things that I love talking about is all things mindset and tactics and recovery, what we call all the soft skills. Sometimes, we think of the training plans as the hard skills, the drills are the hard skills, anything you do physically. And I love talking all the things soft skills that happen inside of us, that we can essentially train while we rest at the same time. So there's always something we can work on. And we've seen, a lot of breakthroughs with those sessions. And we've seen there's a lot of demand too. People have more and more questions. They want to talk about more and more things. So we just want to bring a lot more of that. We want to provide the spaces where people can talk about these things. I love talking about fear and obviously how we can work on that too. So those are some of the things that we're bringing. And I do want to emphasize that we record all the calls. And so even folks who can't join, we usually send out a question prompt so people can submit question for a coaching call, and then they can watch the recording afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And usually we have special guests come. You bring in the special guests, and it's very exciting. We had a line of really amazing, guest speakers last year.
Yeah, last year, gosh. And again, like these are all recorded. So if you do join, you get access to all of the library. So we had Steve Bechtel, we had John Kettle, we had Juliet, Amanda. Oh man, we had Ryan Hurst, we had Amanda Fitt, just so many amazing people.
Stephen Dimmitt
from the Nugget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a great call.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, I love the guest calls. They're just such a fun way to go in a different direction sometimes with some of these conversations. And it just brings new perspectives. And that's part of this community. Again, it's like, it's not just me and Katja
mm-hmm.
and our words of the Holy Grail. Like, I don't believe that at all. Like, I really we are learning from each other. We're learning from our community members. And we learn from other coaches as well. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. And, we just asked our community members actually who they want to listen to or hear from next year. So we got a few really amazing suggestions from our community members. So we're going to try to bring those guests on next year. Very exciting.
This year.
This year. Oh my goodness.
This year.
I'm totally confused with this change. Yeah, so maybe before we wrap up, Mercedes, let's just briefly talk about maybe the community part. What are some amazing aspects of the community? How does that even work? How does the community work? Because as you said at the beginning, this is an online community, so we don't actually meet in person. Although they are meetups. We do have meetups. Yes. So there's in-person options, but it's mostly an online community.
Yeah. So in the past, some people have been a little confused about whether, this is an in-person group coaching in Seattle. No, this is online only. So we have two platforms that we use. The first one, the community aspect of it, is through an app called Mighty Networks. So we've set up different spaces in there. One is Beta Spray, which is where you can post all of your videos and get advice from other people. We have a nutrition section where you can read and talk about nutrition all day long. And then we have the Stronger Together section, which is kind of where we do a lot of where Katja and I will do a lot of the questions, polls, we'll post the coaching calls, and people will just ask questions as well, So that's one section. And then the other part is Trainerize, which is where you get all of the training programs. And there is a little bit of messaging in there, but that's mostly just to talk about announcements and any challenges that we're doing. So yeah, it's very robust. There's a lot. And I think as a new member coming into this, you might feel a little overwhelmed because there's so much. But, our members will actually tell all new members, just, start slow, start with the first thing. And, when you come in, we do guide you on like just the first couple steps that you need to focus on. And don't even worry about having to catch up, because that is impossible. Don't ever feel like you need to catch up on anything, because you're really not behind. You are where you are. But yeah, it's literally a vault of knowledge and happiness in Stronger Together.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the fun things that we actually also do in the community that I love doing is we have something we call the Member of the Month, where I do a live interview with a member, just as another way for all of us to get to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some members who do end up living in the same cities, they do meet
Yeah.
up and they have made
Yep.
friends,
Yeah.
and as our community is growing, we hope that this will happen more and more, where people
Yeah.
train together and climb together and just become friends. So
Yeah. Yeah. And the in-person opportunities, we try to do, not every month, but almost every month, we have a meetup in Seattle. So if you're in Seattle or live close to Seattle, you might be able to do a meetup with us. And normally it's at the Seattle Bouldering Project, or one of them. Or we'll change up the location. We are also offering retreats / climbing trips. And so in 2023, we did a Smith Rock trip that was amazing. And we did a New Year's retreat, which was just also incredible. So we're definitely going to have more of those as the membership grows and as we get more demand for in-person events.
yeah, wonderful. Is there anything else that you want to say, Mercedes, about Stronger Together? I think this ended up being a longer
It
episode than we
really
thought it would
was.
be.
Yes. I don't think so. I really love it. I don't know. This is like a big part of how I want to develop inside of the climbing industry. I really want to carve out this place for people. And, like, I have this community now allows me to have lots and lots of friends all over the world, which is so, so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an amazing year, and I can't wait to see what this year is going to bring for this community. So yeah, if you're interested, you can check out, we're going to link the sign up page or the informational page in the show notes.
Yeah.
You can read more about it. We do offer monthly plans. That's another thing we might want to say, is that you can cancel anytime. You can join and then cancel. Members do get 30% off all of our programs. So that is also
our
something
courses, 30% off of our courses, which we're going to be running a lot more this year.
Yeah. And yeah, but we do have a yearly option too that's even more affordable. But yeah, I talked to one of our members actually yesterday, and we talked about how she found out about the membership and how she's been enjoying it. And she said it's essentially exactly what she had looked for. She's been wanting to improve her climbing, but she thought that one-on-one coaching was not quite as affordable to her, and she thought that this is a really great affordable option for her to improve her climbing and be part of a bigger community. And I think that's really one of the things that we wanted to do. We wanted to have a place where we can bring coaching to people at a more affordable level as well. So yeah, check it out. We would love to, see you and check out the information and let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for the next episode next week.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Katya. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.